So yesterday I did a live and a gentleman jumped on and he was talking about a deal he attempted to do 3 years ago, and the person he was doing the deal with really went behind his back. I want to talk about that. So welcome to Case Study Tuesday. I actually had that happen to me on my very first wholesale deal, where a person that I thought was a straight up, end buyer, was going to do business the honest way, decided to try to take advantage of me. So I made a couple of mistakes in the deal, but I judged a book by its cover. And my father, Ricky Humphrey, he always said, never judge a book by its cover. We've all heard that saying. He also said, just because a woman is beautiful on the outside doesn't mean she's beautiful on the inside. That's some wisdom we've all heard, right? And the same vice versa. Just because a man looks good on the outside doesn't mean he's good on the inside. And, we talking about that spirit, that character. So my first wholesale deal, 12 properties in Union Square, Highlands Market neighborhood in South Baltimore. I put on the market. This was before, you had the social media platforms. I actually placed them on Craigslist and in message board forums. And what ended up happening, I got a couple of calls. One of the calls, make a long story short, was an entrepreneur, attorney, who actually owned 3 gas stations in our region, owned a huge law firm in Washington, D.C., and lived in Bethesda, Maryland. I mean, ultra wealthy individual. And the person that I was working with on this deal, meaning the seller, I'm gonna talk about the seller and the buyer. The seller was cool, down to earth, older guy, around 83 years old, been in real estate probably over 30 years. Me and him hit it off. Vice versa with the buyer. Me and the buyer hit it off. I'm thinking everything's gravy. It was a total of 12 properties. It was a package deal. Had these properties under contract for $500K. Now, this end buyer showed proof of funds. When I say we hit it off, she told me about her family. She told me about her other businesses, how long she'd been investing in real estate. I mean, she ran down the list of her accomplishments. And I'm a young guy. I'm like early 20s, probably like 23, 24. I'm all ears and I'm green. I am green. And she saw me coming a mile away. Long story short, my paperwork wasn't right. And my first mentor, Ola, Faking Deli. Ola, if you're watching this video, man, shout out to you, man. I never forgot that principle that you shared with me, that Ola shared with me. He said, I don't care if a deal goes through or if it closes or if it doesn't close, you always save your paperwork. You always save your paperwork. So in today's digital age, there is no excuse for you not to have your paperwork. And that gentleman that I spoke to on the live yesterday, he didn't have any paperwork with the person that he was joint venturing with. So when I do businesses now, it's no gentleman's handshake. It's no, I'm taking your word. Everything's always in writing. I still have paperwork from the early 2000s from deals. And I'll do a video and I'll show you tubs and tubs of HUD-1s and contracts and folders from title companies. If we saved it all. So make sure you have your paperwork. But again, we're in the digital age. You have DocuSign. I love the platform Sign Now, SIGNNOW.com. We sign all of our contracts and agreements via that platform, and we archive everything. But long story short, I had some paperwork signed by this end buyer, and I was actually poised to make $56,000 on my first wholesale deal. Ended up only making about $34,000. But the only reason why I was able to capture that profit, even after she tried to screw me out of the deal, is I had my paperwork signed. Folks, Case Study Tuesday. Share, like this video. Hey, if you have a question, join my Freedom and Wealth Builders text group. Again, that's the Freedom and Wealth Builders text group at 202-918-3445. This is Marcel signing out. See you at the closing table.